Alright, we're back. This is the Police 2, episode 23. My name is Wenzel. WenzlePlayz is the channel. W-E-N-Z-L-E Plays, P-L-A-Y-Z. We're on December 13th. It's deceptively hard. We can either go back and beat December 12th, which took us a while already, and then beat the tactical mission again, and then double shift a bunch of people. Not feeling like doing that. Or we can, a lot of people can die. It's really not good. Rocking a hard place, but what I'm saying is we'll probably lose a mission here. It's making us, send like 3,000 level cops to a book club, to stop old women from fighting. You'll see that mission pretty soon. Yikes. I mean, really. The envious neighbor did it, and the female teetotaler did it, so putting them on those cases. We want to finish this spinach berserker gang thing as quickly as possible, because pretty soon we'll run out of days. I need to pay Friday night. I don't care. I'm rich. Yes, we have the 500.
561 in progress.
And we won blackjack, so I really don't want to do that. The pull tabs are going to mean basically nothing pretty soon. The level cops you sent on that one doesn't really matter. It's a smuggler with cigarettes. It's difficult to pass. We know how to pass it. I'm not even looking that up, but there's no way that's real. Mr. Nash, I'm in a real war with my neighbors. He set off fireworks. The neighbors were grumpy. They bought their own fireworks and sent them off under the window. He wants to pay $1,000 each for all of our stun grenades. All of them. And I don't need the money, but at this point, it's just funny. So I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna take the money. We might make $500,000 before the game ends, which was the original goal of the first game. For story reasons. Yeah, we'll turn on the siren. He'll pull over because he has his stuff in order. We're going to look inside the van. That fails the check. That fails the mission. He gets away. Have to do that. And we're going to push the spare tire aside. I'll level him up.
561 complete.
We found 2 things of cigarettes. I'm not even looking at that. I don't think it's real.
557 in progress.
That's gonna be real.
.557 in progress.
That's also real. Mind the church where a wedding ceremony is about to begin. Uh-oh. Hairdresser persuaded the woman to try a homemade facial mask made from tree bark. Started to irritate the old woman's face, so they wiped the cream off. The woman vowed that someone would have to pay. It would have been one of the people in the midst of a bomb threat that would have had to pay, of course.
536 in progress.
Schoolboy near the grenade. Disarm the grenade. That's what we'll do. Peter let go. That thing could explode at any moment. Yeah, we will absolutely disarm the grenade. Cops successfully disarmed the grenade. The only museum visitors today were the elderly woman and her grandson. We'll search the grenade at the schoolboy. I think it was him.
557, complete.
Found the grenade's pin and a roll of the same type of tape used to wrap up the grenade. Found the grenade in the woods outside the city and brought it to the museum. He said, just trying to raise attendance. The museum is under threat of closure, and his grandmother works here. He didn't want her to lose her job. Realistically, there's no reason people would die. Well, I guess, yeah, it was in the middle of him unwrapping it again. So we have to have an intelligent person bring their shocker. If we can. Girl was trying to teach her large sheepdog to fetch a stick. Dog didn't obey, so the girl became angry. He's now beating the sheepdog with the stick. The dog will die, but or the offender will escape, but it won't say person died because the dog will die or whatever. Yeah, I know I'm making ethical decisions at this point, which is not what kind of Let's Play you guys will watch. And I make fun of that too. I made fun of people that do that. But it would be really hard for us to replay that. I don't love doing that, but that's what we will do. Oh, wait a minute. We could do that anyway, because we're the best. Haha, no ethical decisions. Other than our cop will probably crash because he's an alcoholic and came in drunk. But that's, you know, we'll save a dog and kill a cop. That's how this game works.
535 in progress.
Reckless endangerment. Throwing an axe instead of darts. He's throwing an axe instead of darts. It's not fake. Scout the church with the sniper. We will defuse the tripwire. Cop managed to reactivate the tripwire. Could overpower the subject. You just use the baton, you know, just do that.
557, complete.
Aww, a bunch of crap. Order her to drop the stick. If we do either of those, the dog attacks us. We have to kill the dog.
536, complete.
Someone died. Great. That's cool. That's really cool.
530 in progress.
No, I don't want to talk about it. Yep, it was her. Indict. Yes, we'll do that. Do we even have anyone that could have done the bug zapper thing? Yeah, we did. Old man and he's back with a rake while her husband pushes his face into the ground. The woman shouts on moan as well as I won't hear me, you epileptic. Epileptic. No, it's just...
530 complete.
He was envious of Bill Buckler's black chicken so much that he couldn't stand it anymore and decided to steal it for himself. He did it, yes. All we have left are really drunk cops. this will go really well. We got some soap and $500. Wow. Yay. We're supposed to ask about the muscles. That's the one we're supposed to say. Ask about the password, which is tattooed on the culprit's skin. Ready to attack on every front.
Code I.
Let's see. Does anyone crash? One of those four will crash. Got him. Can you make it back home safely? Skirt. Like, wouldn't you just have a designated driver? Risk paid off. 25, and we're gonna lose like 6. We're gonna lose that many. Okay. Oh, finally, we got some good ones. Okay, cool. I could pick him up, but we're about out of money. And it might matter. Our shift, him. 24 out of 49. About half. I'm going to take age 2. That leaves them on the next shift. Just because. Get another day like that, it's going to make me pretty upset. And we can use, like, the ice hole. We haven't used that yet, so. All right.
Tell me, Victor, tell me honestly, are you a human being or a robot? Huh? Right? Or are you sure? Have you checked? Because it seems to me you have a set of programmed commands instead of brains in your head. Ever consider showing a little bit of flexibility? Just a little bit, huh? Ever consider that selling butter and selling gasoline isn't the same thing? Well, listen. Listen to me, Victor. Listen to me a second before your tiny electrical brains run out of batteries. When you sell him butter, you sell him a delicious breakfast. A person can live without a delicious breakfast. Yes, most people in this fucking town haven't even heard of a delicious breakfast. When you sell him butter, he's in a position to bargain. Because if he doesn't have butter, he'll smear his toast with clay. And by God, I swear he will eat it with no less pleasure. But when you sell him gasoline, Victor, when you sell him gasoline, you sell him his business. You sell him the entire meaning of his existence. Because, Victor, if he doesn't have gasoline, he'll have to shut down his gas station. And if he closes his gas station, he won't have butter or toast on the table. And in fact, he won't even have a fucking table. Because his creditors will take away his whole fucking house. And a man needs a fucking house so that he can have a place to put his fucking table. You got the logic, right? Now see if you can digest it with your fucking electrodes or whatever you usually think with, and call me back when you come to an agreement on the price. Ah, you're already here. I'm sorry, Jack. It's a busy time of year. I gotta sit by the phone all day. I can call you Jack, right? Why am I asking? I'm already calling you Jack. Let's sit down. We could go to the bar, by the way. I'm waiting for a call, but I could.
It's fine here.
You sure? Well, as you like. That's what I love about Sharpwood. Even if I forget to put the beer in the refrigerator, it'll still be cold. Here, you can help yourself. Doesn't look like beer, does it?
Well, what is it? The infamous smelly soup?
You should try it. Go on. Try it. Don't be squeamish. Half of Sharpwood eats that soup every day. No one's dead yet. Not from the soup, anyway.
Now I see. Now I see why you'd say that anyone who lives on this soup would try to get out of here.
Well, yes, but most of them stay. What do you think keeps them here?
Family? Friends?
Friends? But there's nothing easier than making friends. When did you arrive in Sharpwood? About 10 weeks ago? Or was it 8? And look, you're already surrounded by friends. No, it's not friends. It's the enemies. Ask anyone in the city. Ask a poor man. Ask a rich man. Of course, if you can find a rich man. They all have them. Every one of them has a neighbor they can't stand. Well, how can you leave Sharpwood and allow your enemy to go on without you? So he could plant a cherry tree in your backyard? So he, not you, could buy drugs on discount? So he could grab a nice plot of land in the cemetery? No one can allow this. The enemy must be exhausted if it takes you your whole life. With the enemy, you need to fight to the last. Once you have an enemy, you're doomed. You can't think straight. Old Sheriff Wells was doomed. He couldn't stand drug dealers. I myself don't care for them, but Wells didn't count them as people at all. Despised them more than murderers and rapists. And as soon as those fucking neckties appeared in the city, he knew right away that they were his enemies. Enemies which he must overcome, you see? And even if by some miracle he succeeded, what next? What other enemies would he have invented? And the performance we arranged for him that night? He had no reason to believe that there were ties hiding in that house. But one phone call, from this phone here, by the way, and he rushes off into the night to God knows where. You know what happened next. He threw himself into a hail of bullets. Got 2 young cops killed, too, though they had absolutely nothing to do with it. Sheriff Wells invented his enemies, and he paid for them dearly.
So the policeman had to pay for doing police work.
What? Jack, come on. I know we need the police. Of course we need them. There was a case here recently, a month before you got here, maybe less. A fellow named Rocco, he was a butcher here. His old mother Bertha went missing. And Bertha had either Alzheimer's or old age dementia, or is it the same thing? Anyway, poor Bertha always forgot everything. Couldn't even recognize Rocco half the time. And then suddenly, she disappeared somewhere. So, What did our Rocco decide? Our Rocco decided that his mother was kidnapped by Eves Menke, another local butcher, his competitor, so to speak. No, just think, a man finds his mother missing, his old sick mother who can't remember her way to the toilet, and the first idea that comes into his head, his competitor kidnapped her. He watched too many movies, I guess. So what did Rocco do? Rocco picked up the hammer, went to Eves Menke's house, cracked open his skull, then broke his brother's skull, then broke his father's skull, then went down to their basement shouting, "Mom, I've come to save you!" And the basement was empty. Of course it's fucking empty. And there he is, standing there. Goes back home, covered in blood, hammer in hand, and his mother is there, sitting in her armchair, quietly knitting. Walked around in the woods all day, then came back home. Doesn't even remember a thing about it. Now Rocco will be in prison for the rest of his life. But if he just called the police, if the cops had combed the forest looking for poor Bertha, nothing would have happened. So of course we need the police. Never imagine, Jack, that I think the police is my enemy. I don't invent enemies for myself. I won't repeat the old sheriff's mistakes, unlike the new sheriff.
What, you arranging a special performance for her too?
I could, of course, but what happens after that? Marino says that after Gail Greenberg's death, there's no first deputy in the department. So if the sheriff suddenly dies, anyone might take her place. And I do not need anyone. I need you.
I'm sorry?
You're working in the sheriff's department, unofficially, right? I think it's time to formalize your status. First deputy sheriff. It's a good start, huh?
Why would Lily formally appoint me as first deputy?
You're not listening to me at all, Jack. Lily invented an enemy for herself and will do anything if it means she can get even with her enemy. Believe me, run the ties out of Sharpwood and you'll get your post. She wouldn't think for a second.
I'm not sure she...
Just think, Jack, just think. The ties didn't just flood the city with drugs. Oh, no, that would not be enough. The ties killed her precious Sheriff Wells. Well, that's what she believes anyway. But would they stop at that? Oh, no. The ties killed Gail Greenberg. And was that enough? Not at all. Now the ties had also killed her champion, Captain Carter. As far as I know, Jack, you made sure poor Lily thought as much. You can be sure, Jack, hatred for her enemy has all but blinded our sheriff. Like her predecessor, like her predecessor's predecessor. Consider this a Sharpwood tradition.
Suppose she agrees. Although I do not really believe she will, then I'll still need to deliver and take out these ties.
Is that a problem? I thought you were an experienced cop.
I don't even know where their headquarters are.
But I do. I learned a lot from our distinguished young student, Arthur Sherman. The scholar couldn't be held in isolation without books. He traded all the valuable secrets of the insidious neckties for the Viscount de Bragelonne. Can you imagine?
Even if I can.
Oh, that must be Victor. Don't worry, Jack. She'll agree. You'll see. She'll agree without hesitation. Call me when you made the deal. Just don't leave it too long. Here, little souvenir from Freeburg. Hello. What? Why does he need so much? It doesn't matter how much he's willing to pay. It's physically impossible at that time.
I shouldn't have talked in the middle of that cutscene, but we got a lot of information there. Now, of course, this it kind of reveals that, for story reasons, or story-wise, it tells us that Colonel Henderson used that phone to call the mission that happened at the very beginning of the game. That tutorial mission where the sheriff dies, he coordinated that. Of course, we know afterward, at least one of the people that was abducted, or not, captured, sorry, was a necktie, because he told where the necktie's base was. I think they got that guy from there. Anyway, but there's a few different threads, and Also, the newspaper, it said Mayor Jack Boyd is public enemy number one. That's, of course, a reference to the ending. Why it's phrased that way, it's a reference to the ending of the first game. But all right. So we're going to cut the episode, and we'll talk to you all later on episode 24. See you soon.